Have you ever wondered what secrets lie behind the golden walls of the Vatican? It's a place of immense beauty, faith, and power. But beneath the gilded surface, there's a history far darker than most people imagine. A history of secrets, scandals, and suffering. Today, we are pulling back the curtain to reveal the darkest secrets of the Vatican. This isn't just about sensational stories. It is about understanding how an institution can be both a beacon of hope and a shadow of its former self. Let's start at the beginning. The story of Christianity is one of persecution. In the Roman Empire, early Christians were hunted, tortured, and martyred for their beliefs. They were the ultimate underdogs, their faith forged in the fires of oppression. But as history so often shows, the persecuted can become the persecutors. Once Christianity became the state religion of Rome, the tables turned dramatically. The once oppressed church began to wield its newfound power, not just to guide, but to control and punish those who dared to defy its doctrines. This tragic irony, this cycle of victimhood turning into oppression, sets the stage for centuries of conflict and control. One of the most disturbing chapters in the Vatican's history is the story of the castrati. From the 16th to the 19th century, the Church forbade women from singing in choirs. To achieve the high, angelic vocal ranges required for sacred music, a horrific practice emerged. Talented young boys, some as young as 7 or 8, were surgically castrated before puberty. This brutal procedure preserved their high-pitched voices, turning them into celebrated singers, the rock stars of their time. But at what cost? These children were robbed of a normal life, their bodies mutilated for the sake of art and religious tradition. It was a state-sanctioned exploitation of the most vulnerable, a chilling example of the lengths the institution would go to for its own aesthetic and cultural ambitions. Now, let's talk about marketing, medieval style. In an era when the vast majority of people were illiterate, how did the Church convey its complex and often intimidating messages? Through art. Specifically, through the stunning stained glass windows that adorn cathedrals across Europe. These weren't just decorations, they were powerful tools of propaganda. Each pane of glass told a story, usually a cautionary tale about the horrors of hell and the damnation that awaited sinners. For the common person who couldn't read the Bible, these vivid, terrifying images were their primary source of religious education. They were a constant reminder of the Church's power over their eternal soul, a brilliant but manipulative way to ensure obedience and control the hearts and minds of the masses. The darkness isn't confined to the distant past. In the 20th century, the Vatican became entangled in scandals that read like a crime thriller. The Vatican Bank, officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion, has been at the center of numerous financial controversies. Perhaps the most infamous is its connection to the collapse of Banco Ambrosiano in the 1980s. The bank's chairman, Roberto Calvi, known as God's banker, was found hanging under Blackfriars Bridge in London. His death was linked to massive financial fraud and alleged money laundering for the Sicilian mafia, with trails leading directly back to the Vatican Bank. These modern scandals reveal a troubling intersection of faith, finance, and organized crime, shattering the image of the Vatican as an entity above worldly corruption. Even the Vatican's most celebrated art is born from conflict. Think of Michelangelo's breathtaking Sistine Chapel ceiling. We see divine beauty, but the story behind it is one of turmoil and resentment. Michelangelo, a sculptor at heart, was essentially forced into the project by Pope Julius II. Their relationship was notoriously stormy, filled with arguments, threats, and creative clashes. Michelangelo felt like a prisoner to the Pope's ambition, and some scholars argue he embedded subtle insults and pagan symbols within the sacred frescoes as a form of artistic rebellion. This tumultuous partnership reveals that even the most divine-looking art can be the product of human ego, power struggles, and a genius's defiant spirit against an overbearing patron. What secrets are locked away in the Vatican's famous archives? Spanning over 53 miles of shelving, the Vatican's secret archives are not so secret anymore, but they remain one of the most mysterious libraries in the world. For centuries, access was heavily restricted, fueling speculation about what the Church was hiding. While many documents are mundane administrative records, others hold suppressed historical truths. We are talking about the trial records of Galileo, letters from historical figures like Abraham Lincoln and Mary, Queen of Scots, and documents related to the Knights Templar and the Inquisition. The very act of keeping these records under lock and key for so long created an aura of secrecy, suggesting a history that the Church wasn't always proud to share with the world. Of all the Vatican secrets, perhaps none is more tantalizing than the third secret of Fatima. In 1917, 3 shepherd children in Portugal claimed to have received prophecies from an apparition of the Virgin Mary. The first 2 secrets were revealed and were interpreted as predicting the end of World War I and the rise of Communist Russia. But the third secret was kept under wraps by the Vatican for decades, generating intense speculation. What could be so terrifying that the Church refused to reveal it? When a version was finally released in 2000, it described a vision of a bishop in white being killed, interpreted by the Vatican as a reference to the assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II. But many believe the true secret is far more apocalyptic and that the version released was incomplete, a cover-up to prevent mass panic. The mystery continues to fuel conspiracy theories to this day. The Vatican's influence also has a dark colonial legacy. During the Age of Discovery, papal bulls, or decrees, like the Doctrine of Discovery, gave European monarchies the religious justification to conquer foreign lands and subjugate non-Christian peoples. This doctrine essentially declared that any land not inhabited by Christians was available to be claimed, its people to be converted or eliminated. This provided a moral and legal framework for centuries of colonialism, violence, and cultural genocide in the Americas, Africa, and beyond. The Church was not just a passive bystander, it was an active participant, its authority used to bless and legitimize the brutal expansion of European empires, a complicity that has left deep and lasting scars across the globe. So, what are we to make of this institution of stark contrasts? The Vatican is simultaneously a center of profound faith and a repository of dark secrets. It has inspired incredible acts of charity and art, yet its history is stained with corruption, manipulation, and violence. This duality forces us to ask difficult questions. Can an institution be both holy and deeply flawed? Does the pursuit of power inevitably corrupt even the most sacred of missions? The Vatican's story is a complex, uncomfortable, and deeply human one. It's a mirror reflecting not just the history of a church, but the enduring struggle between our highest ideals and our darkest impulses. The secrets are out there, not to destroy faith, but to demand accountability and a more honest understanding of the past. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the shadows. If you found this exploration fascinating, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. Let us know in the comments which secret shocked you the most. See you next time.